Have you ever thought about what the resurrection truly means for your life, not just on Easter morning but every single day? The resurrection is not merely an event we remember, it's an invitation to transform the way we live, to rise above despair, and to embrace the gift of renewal. In every moment lies the potential for a new beginning. Living the resurrection is not confined to a single day. It is not merely the joyful celebration of Easter morning or a fleeting reminder of life's triumph over death. The resurrection is an eternal call, a call to rise, to renew, and to live with the awareness that life holds within it the seeds of infinite transformation. To live the resurrection daily is to let its message seep into our very being, to walk through life with the profound understanding that every moment carries the potential for rebirth. When we reflect on the resurrection, we often focus on the event, the stone rolled away, the empty tomb, the risen Christ. But let us linger on what this event truly signifies. The resurrection is not just the reversal of death, it is the declaration that death, despair, and darkness are not ultimate. It is the breaking of the world's most unyielding chains. It is the promise that in every end lies a new beginning. The resurrection invites us to look at our lives through a different lens. It tells us that no failure is final, no wound beyond healing, no loss irredeemable. It challenges us to see not what is missing, but what is possible. To live the resurrection daily is to carry this vision with us, not as an abstract belief but as a living truth that shapes how we see ourselves, others, and the world. But what does this look like in practice? How do we embody something as vast and profound as the resurrection in the quiet rhythm of our days? It begins with a shift in perspective. The resurrection calls us to live with hope, not a naive optimism that denies reality, but a courageous hope that confronts the brokenness of the world and says, this is not the end. Hope is not an avoidance of life's hardships. It is the strength to face them with the knowledge that renewal is always possible. Living the resurrection also means embracing the rhythm of surrender and renewal. Just as Jesus surrendered to death before rising again, we too must learn to surrender. Surrender our fears, our grudges, our certainties. Surrender is not defeat. It is the opening of our hearts to grace. It is the willingness to let go of what holds us back so that we can step into what lies ahead. In surrender, we make room for renewal, not as something we achieve, but as something we receive. The message of the resurrection is also deeply relational. After he rose, Jesus did not retreat into isolation. He sought out his disciples, walked with them, broke bread with them, spoke words of peace and reassurance. To live the resurrection daily is to follow this example. It is to extend grace to others, to nurture connection, to be present for those who need us. It is in our relationships that the resurrection comes alive, not as a distant event, but as a living reality. Yet living the resurrection is not without challenges. It requires us to confront the parts of ourselves that resist renewal, the parts that cling to anger, fear, or despair. It asks us to look at the scars we carry, and to see in them not symbols of defeat, but marks of transformation. The resurrection does not erase our wounds, but it gives them meaning. It transforms them into reminders of the grace that brings us through. This transformation is not something we can do alone. The resurrection is communal by nature. It calls us to see our lives as part of a greater whole, to recognize that our rising is tied to the rising of others. To live the resurrection daily is to ask, how can I bring renewal to those around me? How can I be a source of light in someone else's darkness? How can I extend the grace I have received? In living the resurrection, we are invited to embrace a new way of seeing. To notice the small resurrections happening all around us, the flower blooming through a crack in the pavement, the smile that breaks through tears, the kindness that heals a wound. These moments are not trivial, they are the echoes of the resurrection, reminders that life is always breaking through. The resurrection also asks us to live with gratitude. When we recognize the grace that sustains us, we are moved to respond, not out of obligation, but out of love. Gratitude opens our eyes to the abundance that surrounds us, even in the midst of struggle. It reminds us that every breath, every sunrise, every act of kindness is a gift. To live with gratitude is to live with an awareness of the sacredness of life. Perhaps most profoundly, living the resurrection daily calls us to trust. Trust in the face of uncertainty, trust in the promise of renewal, trust that even when we cannot see the path, it is being made for us. Trust does not eliminate doubt, it holds space for it. It reminds us that faith is not the absence of questions, but the choice to keep walking even when the answers are unclear. As we live the resurrection, we are not only transformed ourselves, we become agents of transformation in the world. Our lives, infused with the light of the resurrection, become a testimony to its truth. We carry its message not only in our words but in our actions, in the way we love, forgive, and serve. The resurrection is not just something we believe, it is something we live. This daily living of the resurrection does not demand perfection. It does not require us to have everything figured out or to never falter. It simply asks us to rise again and again in every moment, in every circumstance. To rise is to say yes to life, to hope, to grace. It is to embody the truth that the resurrection is not confined to the past or the future, but is alive in the present. So let us carry the resurrection within us, not as a memory, but as a reality. Let it guide us, shape us, renew us. Let it remind us that we are part of a story far greater than ourselves, a story of life and light, of grace and renewal. And as we live this story, let us invite others to join us, to rise with us, to experience the transformative power of the resurrection. The resurrection is not just something that happened, it is something that happens every day in ways both great and small in our lives and in the world. Let us live it with open hearts and open hands as we walk together on this sacred journey. The resurrection is alive in each of us, calling us to rise, to heal, and to renew, not just once but every single day. Let us embrace this shared journey and let our lives be a testimony to its transformative power. What does living the resurrection mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments and inspire others with your perspective. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who might need it. Let's rise together and bring renewal, healing, and light to the world, one step at a time.